All right, hello, I'm Matt Hook. Today I'm going to be interviewing Viper the Rapper from Houston, Texas. Viper has gained a large internet cult following with a style characterized by his deep voice, relaxed flow, and an unconventional approach to beat making. Viper, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for having me on the interview, Viper the Rapper in the house.
All right, so what inspired you to start rapping?
Well, really, when I was younger, I've always been involved in music ever since a really small age. Started playing the piano at 5. Started playing the organ for my dad's church at 8. Um, but really didn't actually start really playing fully until the age of 13. But that's when I started picking it up. So music was always a part of my life. Started out in R&B and just because a lot of people said I had a good voice, I sang in the choir in church and sung solo songs in church and uh, wanted to do something in the music industry. I at first chose the singing route and then eventually kind of crossed over to rap. Um,
So,
and
do,
it really panned out for me, like started really to pan out for me in the early 2000s.
so did that R&B gospel background still influence your music today, or do you try to keep it
Yeah,
like
it
two separate
does. It
worlds?
does in a major way. And as a matter of fact, um, I've kind of gone through a growing process in the rap game. Um, you know, transitioning from R&B to rap, I kind of was trying to be more of a rapper than a singer. So as a result, a lot of my hooks and things like that were just pure rapping, not very much singing in a lot of the hooks. And you can kind of see that in a lot of my earlier product, Hustlin' Thick, um, Southwest Hooligan, those type of albums. You'll see that. And then as I kind of ventured deeper into my career, I kind of started to go back to my roots of R&B. And so now, if you notice, a lot of my songs are a lot slower, a lot more in depth with the R&B tone, a lot of singing on the hooks I do now. And I've kind of catered auto tunes as kind of like my benchmark for my platform now. So,
Kind of copying like the T
um,
Pain sound a little bit.
yeah, kind of like the T-Pain sound. My sound is a little original. The thing about auto tunes is there's so many different products of auto tunes that everyone that uses auto tunes is going to have kind of a original sounding voice as far as the auto tune sound. T-Pain sounds distinct from Future, and I sound distinct from those two as well. So even though it is auto tunes, it there is a distinct sound that you'll see, especially in a lot of my new product coming out. Um, the greatest the jammingest album of all time is coming out soon, and that has a lot of auto tune product in it, and a lot of singing on the hooks as well. So
So
you
it's
will be getting a lot more of that from me, especially as I get older, going back to the church roots and the R&B thing. Um, at some point, I even do plan on making a completely full R&B album, but that'll probably be a lot deeper in my career once I've got established in the rap game as a serious household name rap artist, which is my goal at this point.
gotcha. So you're kind of working on creating like a fusion of R&B, gospel, and rap. And,
Correct.
and
Um, when I say gospel, I wouldn't necessarily say the content, the vocabulary content of gospel, but more of the melodic content of gospel.
like the instrumentation.
Correct.
Also, earlier you were talking about how you slowed down your tempos. I noticed, like listening to a lot of your stuff, that you kind of sound very similar to that chopped and screwed sound of like classic '90s Houston hip hop, like the DJ Screw and his collective. Were you like active in that scene at all?
Yes, I was very active in it. Matter of fact, my brother is a film producer. His name is Greg Carter. He produced a lot of cult classics here in Houston. Dirty Third. He did Fifth Ward. Jacob Richardson story, a lot of uh, cult classics here in Houston. And in one of the movies, Fifth Ward, there's actually a scene where I'm at a house party with DJ Screw. This is before he passed.
Yeah.
This was in the late 90s. So um, I am very familiar with a lot of the people in the Screwed Up Clique. For example, Kiki is a really good friend of mine. His phone is his number's in my text log.
Oh, that's awesome,
Uh,
man.
and um, a lot of the people in Rec Shop, uh, I did a lot of work with. Um, I actually was close to being uh, in a rap group, uh, uh, being a part of the Botany Boys. I was actually in an R&B group while when they first got started, and there was a chance. There was a time where we all worked real close together, so it was almost like we were doing a lot of stuff together. So a lot of the members in the Screwed Up Clique are really close friends of mine.
What?
To this day, I'm still good close to them. Herschelwood Hardheads, uh, a good friend of mine passed away. Gator, all these cats I'm very close with, and we still talk to this very day.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's why a lot of my music, the albums I've been releasing as of late, has been screwed up music, slowed down tempo because a lot of people can relate to that. Um, and also because it's kind of like a mood music where you can kind of relax to and chill to. And of course, if you want kind of that regular pace music, I do have product as well. You just have to kind of research my discography, and there's plenty of that as well. You'll find whatever you need in my discography.
So, what was DJ Screw like? Because I know he was such a legend in that Houston hip hop scene.
Well, he was a quiet guy, very intelligent, um, and I first met him actually when Pat was alive, um, and Hawk. I met him in a studio session with Hawk, and Kiki was doing a freestyle session, and I got to meet him. And at that point, working with him and with my brother, we kind of just got closer. But he was a real down to earth, humble guy. Um, and everything that we do in Houston kind of caters around his style, and a lot of people in Houston centered it around that. The whole North Side kind of did what we did, the South Side, what we did as far as the screwed up sound. It kind of just took off, and now it's kind of like it's its own platform across the world. So he was the pioneer that he was always busy. He was always working, very hard worker. And I guess the hard work is another thing that kept him humble. But uh, he's a legend, man. He's gonna always be missed. And God bless him and his family.
Yeah. Speaking of just your discography, you're one of the most prolific artists out there, releasing like 1,500 albums in your career and like 333 albums in 2014 alone. What's your creative process like, and how are you able to just get out just this ridiculous amount of music without a lot of it being remixes of older stuff?
Well, it really just comes down to hard work. What I'm really trying to do, be honest with you, is I'm trying to lay a platform. I'm trying to lay a surface, a product. And I feel like once I do get that household name title, uh, it'll give my fans a lot to research about me and a lot to do. And it just, I got an in-house studio. Uh, I make a lot of beats. I also purchase a lot of beats, and so I have an unlimited amount of product. And of course, I did a lot of writing. Matter of fact, when I was in jail for the time that I was in prison, I wrote over uh, 2,000 songs,
Wow.
and so just that alone. uh, it's something I always go back to. A lot of that stuff has kind of just been filed away. But at the same time, I do come to it every now and then. A lot of my stuff that I do as of late is stuff that kind of pertains to uh, the the current music market. But while I'm writing lyrics or while I'm doing my music my lyrics, I do go back to that and pull things out. So I may have a song with you know 32 bars, and eight of them may be lyrics I pulled from previous things that I've written. So with that, and then so lyrics is not an issue. It's always about music when you're trying to make a massive amount of product. And being that I am a beat maker, and I lease out a lot of product, music is easy, and then of course just putting the lyrics on it is just as easy as well. So it's just a matter of just mass production, and so that's where I get that inspiration.
And do you usually start off with lyrics and then add a beat, or do you make a beat and then add lyrics to it?
I usually start with the beat and then add the lyrics. The beat is generally my inspiration. Uh, Different keys bring out different emotions, and so um, you know, lyrics can't really bring out emotions in music, but music can bring out emotions in lyric. So I start with the music first and then add to it with the lyrics.
Gotcha. And do you make your own music, or do you use a lot of sample based music?
Um, I would say about 95% of the music that I make uh, is my own music. Every now and then I will sample something, and every now and then I will go out and find music from other producers. But I do like to kind of have my own signature sound, and people kind of respect that when they hear a song from Viper that they automatically know it's Viper. And a lot of times I can only get that with my own music, and so I kind of cater to that generally.
And when you're going for and when you're using something to sample, what do you look for in like a sample? Is it like a certain drum beat that will draw you to a certain sample, or is it like a vocal melody?
As of late, I've been more into the slower tempo kind of soul reaching sound. You get that a lot of that in the slow music, kind of the R&B feel instrumentals. So I use a lot of minor keys, uh, not too much of the major keys, um, you know, and that's kind of a style that I've kind of adapted as I've kind of moved through my career. And now uh, you hear a lot of that on the radio now. You hear a lot of slower songs with rap artists singing or rapping to a slower beat, more of a melodic sound. And that's what I've kind of been striving for as of late.
Gotcha. So like a very melodic, slow, smooth type of rap sound.
Exactly. Something to really, cater to the emotions of the listener. I've been focused on that a lot lately. When I first got into the career, it was an issue. When I first got into the music business, it was the issue of product, getting as much product out as possible for people to listen to. But now that the product's out there, now I'm catering more to the fans' emotions, the listeners' feelings, because that to me is what's most important. Everyone has a story, and so I want to try to adapt to their story, my story, in combination with their story, and reach those similarities. And I feel like that style of music, that slow, soul reaching music, is where we all have a common place, and that's something that you know is universal.
That's beautiful, man. So you're really trying to make music that really anyone can listen to and identify with.
anyone can listen to and identify with. I've been doing a lot of songs about love lately, a lot of songs about feelings. Because, as I get older, those things start to really reach out, friends, family, loved ones, love, all those things, um, as you get older in life, really start to come into play.
Because I know in a lot of your earlier stuff, you were rapping about a lot of more kind of rough topics, like, for example, y'all cowards don't even smoke crap in a very blunt manner compared to other rappers. So, what was your early life like?
Um, I was from a large family, Southern, uh, raised, preacher kid. And I had a good childhood. I was a good student. Went to college, and all of those things. As I was moving forward, um, kind of stuck in my mind. So I wanted to address them, but at the same time, uh, when you're younger, you're kind of getting your place in life. You're kind of etching out who you want to be as an individual. And so you're kind of doing a lot of things. But then as life kind of starts to chisel you, you get more focused on things in a certain area. And that's kind of what's happened. So, yeah, I think when I was uh, in my earlier parts of my career, I was more catering to the things that was going on in my life. I was a lot more mobile as far as going out partying, hanging with the fellas, that type of thing. So you'd see it in my work. But now that I've gotten older, kind of a little more stable and settled, uh, you see more of a inside of me as opposed to the outside of me.
So, you're getting a bit more of a introspective instead of like just trying to kind of say like what your
Exactly.
life is, what your life is about. So,
Exactly.
on Y'all Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack, that was really your big viral success. It has over like 1.3 million views on YouTube. What was the effect of that just success on your career of that song?
You know, um, that song has kind of been a blessing for me because to this day, I'm getting uh, money from that song, and the money that I made from that song has been essential in a lot of other things I've done in my life. I mean, there's been times that I've paid for real estate classes with royalties from y'all cowards, and different things, early in my career. So it's paved a way for a career for me, and I'm very thankful for that song. I mean, it was a cult classic, but at the same time, it was a song that I didn't expect to do what it did, but no complaints. And it's thrown me to a position to where I can try to get in the limelight, and so that's what my focus is right now.
And what inspired you to write that song?
That particular song, um, I wrote back in I think 2003. Um, at that time, I was in college, and I was in real estate school as well. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to go as far as a business career, but I was at the same time doing music. And kind of a lot of things culminated at once. I've always been a jack of all trades. So when that album came out, I was doing a number of different things. And one of the things I was doing was I was involved in the drug trade. And so it basically was my calling out to the world, uh, my story in the drug trade at the time. But it was also kind of a song that, as a younger person, gave me a chance to express my views on certain things in life. And to this day, that song still has value, and it still has a message. So, um, you know, fast forward, 10 years, and it still has validity. And so I really appreciate the support that I've gotten from that.
And what is the message of the song?
The message of that song is whatever you're afraid of in life, take it by the horns. Uh, Again, I'm not, telling everyone to go out there and try any kind of drugs because anything that's illegal, I don't want to promote. But at the same time, anything that you are afraid of in life, you have to take it head on because at some point you're going to have to face that fear. If you don't want to do it now, you're going to have to do it later on. At some point, you're going to have to face that fear. I don't want everyone's fear to be drugs. I have kids. I have family. I'm not saying, hey, y'all go out there and try crack. But again, crack is not a deadly drug. To me, it's like weed. It's something that if you do it, you'll get over it. But at the same time, I'm not promoting that. But my message was simply anything you're afraid of, don't be afraid to take it head on and get past that step in life so you can move to another step.
Also, in that song, I know it's in the title, you use you'll as in you will instead of y'all. Is there any meaning to that, or is that just a typo?
There is meaning to that. The point of that is what I was trying to say was again, you will at some point face whatever fear you have, whether it's crack, whether it's weed, whether it's a new job, whether it's, a new school, whether it's a new relationship, whatever it is, at some point you will face it. So don't be afraid, take it head on.
Wow, that's incredible. That really flew over my head the first time I listened to that. So, how do you balance your life as a real estate broker and as a rapper with your family life? I know you mentioned you have kids. How do you balance those three things and still be like a functioning person?
Uh, it's not really difficult. I am a jack of all trades. That's the one thing I've learned. People told me early in life, well, find one thing you're good at and just be the best at that, and that's what you'll get rich at. And I don't agree with that because there's so many people on this planet. It's going to be impossible for you to be the best at one thing. It's going to be impossible for you to be the top 10% at one thing, unless just a God-given talent. Other than that, it's going to be very difficult. But if you're, one of the best at a bunch of things, then at some point it's going to add all. It's going to all add up. And so, same thing in life. I balance everything that I have going on, just trying to be the best at it. Trying to be the best father, trying to be the best real estate agent, trying to be the best real estate broker, trying to be the best rap artist. Uh, you know, just trying to be the best role model. And I feel like if I can do my best, then people will respect that and people will understand that and that will come across as genuinely good.
Wow. So it's really just about managing your time and just trying to be the best self that you can be and not really comparing yourself to the other people out there.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you're going to have some difficulties, especially trying to do a number of different things. But if you stay focused, stay positive, uh, then the sky's the limit.
So back to the music. I noticed in some of your projects, like your 2013 album Plush Player, you use reversed beats. What inspired you to start using those?
Well, uh, the cool thing about reversing a song is that technically it almost changes the key of the song, um, and it gives you a totally different sound. And when you have a really, really good song, uh, instrumentally wise, and then you reverse it, you get an even better song. There's been songs that are R&B songs that I've heard, and I've taken the instrumental and reversed it, and that same, cool, gooey feeling you get inside when you hear a song you really like for the first time, you can take that same song and reverse it, and you get a totally different feeling. And so that's what I was trying to get when I reverse songs is that a lot of times I'll make a song and I won't put out the original forward version. I'll put the reverse version. And the reason why is because I've heard that version, the forward version, so many times from recording it and listening to it over and over again, writing my lyrics, that when I get ready to, when I reverse it, it gives me a new feeling on the song. And it makes it to where it's a whole new song for me. And I get the same feeling that the listener would get if they were listening to the song for the first time. And same thing, sometimes I will put a song out uh, reverse, I'll record it reverse, and I'll turn it back to forward and get a totally different feeling. So kind of goes both ways, and it's a good platform.
So it's kind of similar to what Screw was doing, where he was taking things that were once thought of in like this way as a straight song, but you're taking it and kind of presenting it in a completely different way, which completely changes the character of it.
That is correct. That is correct.
So, have you ever thought about producing beats for other rap artists?
I would love to. Um, my talent is music. Um, if you listen to my first album, which is uh, Hustlin' Thick, I made all the beats on that album. I've made, like I said, I've made 95% of all my beats on all of my albums, but that particular album didn't have not even one song made by somebody else. It was all made by me. And so if you listen to the music on that song, and you listen to it today, it has the same relevance and relevance and relevance and feel that as when I first made it. And so, when I make music, when I make songs, the whole point is to put my signature sound on it. So I would love to make tracks for, some of these artists that are out there because they would get a totally different sound with me than what they would get, with some of the other producers. Not to knock down the other producers because there's a lot of good quality producers out there. Um, they wouldn't be out there if they weren't. But yeah, if I get some knocks on my door for a Viper made the beat track, uh, I'd give anybody who wanted one.
Right. So basically, if someone asks you for a beat, you definitely oblige. Have you? Ever, so
I
do
would
you?
definitely do it.
So I know one of your big things is really you're great at doing a lot of outreach to your fans, and you've even let your fans start making their own music videos for your songs. How did you come up with that idea?
I am a member of our uh, video platform here in Houston, uh, and it's a public platform for producers, for video and film producers. Actually, got involved in it through my older brother, and basically, we have access to a green screen, and the reason why I made it available to my fans to make green screen videos is because everyone has ideas of what they would like to see on screen. And everyone's ideas are unique and important. So this was an opportunity for me to reach out to the creativity of my fans and allow them to have a voice in some of the things that I'm doing and put themselves in front of the limelight as well. So it really worked out because um, it's available to everyone. They can put it on their own YouTube channel. It wasn't a matter of finance or anything like that. It was just an issue of me allowing my fans to have a creative input and a creative outlet as well. And so it's worked out well.
So do you post? I know on your YouTube channel. Do you post all the videos that fans send you, or do you like pick out yourself which ones you put up?
I post them all. Um, and the reason why is because everyone's story is unique. Um, I want to use myself as a platform for other people's stories, and they can literally tell their own story uh, with a video from one of my videos. So I put them all on. Every time I get one to my email, uh, I post it as well as uh, the fan that makes the video can put it on their own YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. I mean, what you're talking about earlier with trying to make a more universal type of rap, and this is like almost like the epitome of that because you're letting, some random person out there add their own story into your music and then create a whole new thing.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is I've had 100% positive, um, response from this. No one has came out with any, disrespectful videos or anything that would be controversial to the public as far as, something that's inappropriate. Everything has been legitimate, appropriate, and it's just been a lot of fun for everybody involved. So I want to extend that invitation to all the people listening to this interview as well. I do have green screen footage on my YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/Rob Wilson 37. And you go there and you can just go through all the videos on my channel and you'll see the green screen videos. And I'm going to be making a lot of new ones coming up soon. Uh, I look totally different from the green screen footage that is on my YouTube channel now. Uh, I think I shot that about 2 years ago, and I look different now than I did then. So I'm going to be shooting some new green screen footage in the spring, and it will be available as well.
All right, that's great. And if they were to just search your name like Viper the Rapper on YouTube, that would also let them go to your channel as well, right?
That is correct. I appreciate you bringing that up.
All right, so now I want to ask you about the stories of some of your album titles because you have a lot of just very inventive album titles that I'm just going to name a couple of my favorites and just tell me like how you just thought of this idea. So like for example, Straight Out the Galactic M Viper. Love the pun on that
That's a
one.
good one. Yeah. Um, basically, I am a Star Wars, fanatic, Star Trek fanatic. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and everybody in my family is huge fans of sci-fi, and of course the Star Wars franchise. I've been a fan of that since its inception. So Straight the Galactic Empire is basically a caterage to the Empire, which is actually the which is the dark side of the Force. Of course, you got the Force, and you have
Light side with
the
Luke Skywalker, the dark side with
light side.
Emperor.
Exactly. And you know, if you ever research the dark side, uh, the dark side originally was actually, you know, the light side, kind of like the Republican Party used to be the Democratic Party. Um, in that the dark side originally, the original conception behind the dark side was that um,
It would do like
it
good.
wasn't it wasn't originally it wasn't really a bad thing originally. Originally, the dark side was supposed to be a way that you can get so powerful that you can actually bring yourself back to life, bring other people back to life. That was the original conception of it. So it wasn't really a dark side. I don't know if you ever saw Harry Potter, but remember the dark professor? Come to find out, he was actually a good professor. He was the one that was helping Harry Potter the whole time. So the term dark isn't necessarily a bad thing. If it's used the right way, it can actually be a good thing. So it was kind of just me, paying homage to that whole concept of the positive part of the dark force. Um, and so that's what that was.
And I know one of the big quotes from that movie is that, Luke Skywalker was supposed to bring balance to the Force. And balance implies that, both the dark side and the light side coexist. And you need both to really create a full whole.
That's right. That is right.
So, also, the moon is my son. He looked just like me. How'd you come up with
The
that one?
moon is my son. He looks just like me. That one, just, basically it was, again, a way of me paying homage to, the celestial beings of the universe. You know, the moon is our closest planet, and it kind of has a mysticism to it. Um, if you research it, it's almost, you know, our twin in that it protects us. It does so much for us,
It
and so
controls
I
the
was just
tides.
again, it was just bringing homage to the moon.
How about Google rapper Viper? Listen and download his free music. Is that your commentary on like internet piracy or?
Basically, that particular one was just that was kind of just advertisement, to be honest. That was just me saying, um, go out there and check me out. Uh, in so many words.
What about F the world? I bend the spoon with my mind.
That album was my take on uh, the seventh sense, which is mental telepathy, uh, those type of different things. Um, and in essence, what I was saying was, I feel like in this lifetime, we as a people, we as a planet, can get to the point where we don't have external conflict anymore. Where there's no more wars, there's no more poverty, there's no more hunger, there's no more death from crime and all these things.
So like John Lennon's
Battle,
Imagine.
the battle is no longer on the outside. The battle is on the inside to keep yourself positive. So that was my whole premise behind that.
So instead of like the world being focused on external battles, it's all about kind of more internal battles of your own emotions and feelings.
That is correct.
And is the title itself a reference to Uri Geller, the famous Israeli pseudo psychic?
Not necessarily. I've kind of been informed about that, but no.
All right, sounds good. So next, I'm gonna be doing a little blind listening test for Viper. I'm gonna play a snippet of a couple songs. Just want you to just give me your thoughts on what you think of them.
Okay.
Wait, sorry about that. Got a little technical difficulty with the CD player here. All right, should be up and running now.
2 2 1 2. How doom, hold heat, and preach non-violence. Shh, he about to start the speech, come on, silence. On one starry night, I saw the light. Heard a voice that sounded like Barry White, said, sure you're right. Don't let me find out who tried to bite. They better off going to fly a kite in a firefight during tornado time with no coat, then I caught ya. Wrote the book on rhymes, a note from the author. With no headshot, he said it's been a while. Got a breadwinner style to get an inner child to finna smile. And that's no exaggeration. The doctor told the patient it's all in your imagination, Negro. What do he know about the buttery flow? He need to cut the ego. Tripping to date the metal fellow, been ripping flows since New York plates was ghetto yellow with broke blue writing. This is too exciting. Folks leave out the show feeling truly enlightened. They say the villain been spitting enough lightning. The rock shocked the boogie down to Brighton. Alright then.
Yeah, check, listen up. Yeah, now, how man, whole heat like Clint Eastwood's reborn. Leave her with more holes than a dartboard. Haters watch him, Hennessy, double shot and drink like the answer to the problems at the bottle's bottom. From the bottom top that homie pay, how you want me? My niggas take no like Kobe. Even with the arms of the hawk, you couldn't hold me from getting mine. Stoves we roll, smoking and getting by. Thanks rap, I ain't got a dime. Got me sneaking out of checkout lines with bottles by the wayside. Smack him in the face, let him taste pride. Fakes try, end up washed up like the shorelines. Do or die, ride how the tip turn. Street turns, keep me in this dirt like an earthworm. What he spit hits and burns where brothers ever learn. Word for word, champ with a nerve, meeting the germ.
All right. So, any thoughts on that track?
Wow, I'm impressed. That was nice.
Did you recognize that at all, or?
Uh, the sound. Uh, it sounds like a East Coast flavor, but I can't pinpoint the name. But I'm definitely getting the East Coast artist vibe. Uh, Definitely hip hop, and I'm very impressed though. I mean, I like the track. I like the lyrics. I can't tell you who it is,
What do you
but
think of that intro jazz piano sample?
I was awesome.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say the sound of the track. It's a jazz fusion, um, and clearly hip hop. I mean, that was great.
All right, so that track was track by Mad Villain, the collaboration between, you're right, about East Coast, New York-based MC MF Doom and West Coast producer Mad Lib. Song was Raid. That piano sample was actually from a Bill Evans song. Bill Evans was Miles Davis' pianist for many, many years.
That is awesome.
All right,
That was nice.
all right, here's the next little sample.
Oh, can I make one statement? This is very important.
Go ahead.
Um, Going back to the whole thing about the videos, uh, I get so many videos. Sometimes I don't get a chance to look at them all the way through. So I do ask everyone to make sure that their videos are appropriate all the way through. Um, Someone sent a video uh, referencing death grips. I'm a huge fan of death grips, and I didn't get a chance to look at the video all the way through. But they sent a death grip disc, and I don't appreciate that. And so I'm in the process of deleting the video. But again, I'm a fan of Death Grips. I love their music, and so if anyone has any kind of political statements or anything that they want to make, please make that notation before they send it to me, because sometimes I don't get to screen the videos completely, and I want to send an apology out to Death Grips if anything that they saw was inappropriate. So just want to say that, okay? But we can move on.
Oh, so you're a big Death Grips fan? I mean, I know they've really been the critics' darlings for the last couple years.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of music, and so a lot of times the media can can thwart a lot of ideologies and thinkings to what they want it to be. But my whole thing is the base of it all, which is the music, and again, they've got really really quality music.
And also, I remember, I forgot to ask this earlier. I remember you were talking about R&B artists. Were there any ones that like come to mind that really had a big influence on you?
Artists that are alive, um, uh, you know, as far as artists that have passed, Donny Hathaway, artists that are alive, Stevie Wonder, uh, you know, you got quite a few. The list can go on, but I like to pay homage to the ones that have passed because it's important. Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, uh, the list goes on and on.
Wow, so a lot like the real
But
classic guys.
yeah,
Donny Hathaway.
uh,
Donny Hathaway was
Donny Hathaway,
such an incredible
yeah,
vocalist. I've listened to that.
and uh, current ones, Joe, you know, uh, started listening to him at an early, when he first came out. But yeah, it's quite a few, R&B singers that are out there that I really like.
All right.
Actually, the majority of them. There's very few R&B singers that I don't like. You know,
Yeah. So, have you listened to any of? Did you listen to D'Angelo's last album, Black Messiah, by any chance?
is that a new album by
That
D'Angelo?
was his 2014 album.
Really? I didn't know he had a new album. I would have went out and copped it.
Oh,
Honestly, I haven't had a chance to hear it. Uh, the thing is, man, with the internet now, there's so much product out there. It's difficult, to get to everybody. But I'm gonna check that out for sure. But yeah, I've been a huge fan of D'Angelo. When he first came out, I remember his song "Lady." I was doing some traveling on in Chicago at the time. So yeah,
yeah, because I know
definitely an imprint on my mind.
because D'Angelo does occasionally do that thing where he does fuse like R&B and rap together, especially on like Voodoo. He really does that a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out that new album. That guy's talented.
All right. Anyway, here is our second little audio blindfold test.
Well, let me get a piece of the track, piece to the black. Peeps on the streets with the beats in the Jeeps. Coming back in 94 with the roar that's against the law. It's the G.O.D. My delivery is C.O.D. Word is born and born is life. We got it going on tonight. Don't nobody wanna fight, they wanna see a tight show where some brothers might go for broke. Utilizing the effects of the smoke. Broadcast is smash to make the blunt last. Fill it with hash to a pass, don't even ask in the flash. Put that ass in the granite. Flag is half man, somebody must have passed. You made it to ash, flip it to the stands. Throw my cash at last, the task to teach the class and receive something more than brass. Is the glass, make the brother work hard, long and fast.
All right, what did you think of that one?
I'm getting a combination of different things. I mean, it was a great song. Awesome. I'm getting Lost Boys, Far Side. I'm getting a little bit of ultramagnetic MCs, uh, with a dash of leaders of the new school. Definitely East Coast. I couldn't quite catch that second rap artist, um, but definitely East Coast. Definitely hot.
Yeah, that
I
was
love it.
brand newbie in there though. New 90s.
Brand
Brand
Nubians.
Nubian.
Ah, when I said Far Side, I was close though.
Yeah, that was a great guess. I mean, Brand Nubian, one of like the really seminal 90s like New York rap groups, really.
And I almost said Diggable Planets, but you know, almost the same. But yeah, man, nice.
Similar vibe to it. So, I know you're from Houston, so do you take a lot, do you kind of, what like school of hip hop do you really subscribe to? Do you, like, is there one that really influences you more than the others? Or do you kind of try to take from all of them equally?
I take a little bit from all of them. Honestly, I'm a little more influenced by rap than hip hop, but at the same time, you know, hip hop is, hip hop is the origination. You know what I mean? It all started with hip hop. So that's hip hop is where I get a lot of my studying from. When I study artists, it's generally, I generally study hip hop artists, but when I create music, I tend to, um, as of late, cater to rap artists.
So you use things from outside your genre to really inform what you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. My genre is rap, but at the same time, I research hip hop artists because hip hop is the true platform. It's the true university. It's the true institution. It all started with that institution. Um, you know, the only difference is rap artists have just taken their style and kind of personalized it. But at the same time, without hip hop, there would be no rap. So, you know, homage is going to always be there for hip
And
hop.
what would you say is the big difference between the two genres?
Well, hip hop, uh, of course, you're going to have more of a kind of a non-studio sound. And when I say non-studio, it's going to be either sampled or it's going to be um, you're going to have a lot less programmable product in the sound. So in other words, you're going to have a lot less, of the stuff that is kind of created by hand in hip hop. Hip hop is going to have a lot of samples. Uh, you know, Rap, you're going to have more of the, you know, hip hop. You may get a lot more live sound, or you may get more samples. Where rap, you're going to get a lot more in-house sound where somebody sat down and actually made the stuff themselves as far as the keyboard sound, the bass sound, a lot of uh, a lot of sequenced and stuff that was actually made on a keyboard
So a lot more
as
MIDI.
opposed to yeah, as opposed to made outside of the machinery with hip hop. With hip hop, you're gonna have a lot of stuff external outside of the machinery. With rap, you're gonna have a lot of stuff internal inside of the machinery.
All right. And now for our last little audio sample. Right. Any thoughts on that track?
Uh, Still hip hop, even though it's not East Coast. As soon as I heard the way Decatur that gave it all up, that's definitely Atlanta.
Uh,
I want to say Mob. I want to say
you got one of the words right.
uh, Mob.
You got the location right,
God.
man. You can do this.
Oh my God. Oh man, when I just kind of I lost it, bro. But I put it like this. Uh, I'll say Dungeon Family, and that sums it all up. But man, when you know what it is, and you just blank it because you screwed yourself up.
I mean, it's
That's basically what happened.
You got the second word
Man,
right, man. It was a Goody Mob.
goody mob. Oh my God. But again, I said Dungeon Family, so
So
that
you're
cleared me.
right. It was right. It was in that collective. Got that great organized noise production on that track with the acoustic guitar sound in it.
Oh yeah, but it was still hip hop though.
Yeah. I mean, that's acoustic guitar is one of those things where don't really hear it that often. I think in like a hip hop or a rap context.
Yeah, you're gonna get rap more in the trap music, in the R&B style, East Coast swag. Not East Coast. I'm sorry, West Coast. You're gonna get rap. You're gonna get but basically, um, a lot of the slower stuff is gonna be rap. A lot of the fast stuff, samples is gonna be hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I listen to a lot of. I'm a guitarist myself, and I listen to a lot of solo acoustic guitar. And some of those guys, the grooves they're doing are just very, very R&B based. So I'm a little surprised that no one's really kind of taken the opportunity to sample that stuff a bit more.
Yeah, but I like that. That was Goody Mob, man. Those guys, man, they are pioneers. I would love to meet them one day,
Yeah, I mean,
along with all the other, artists, that I said earlier. But you know, um, just to meet some of these people, man, and to be able to, at some point being on the same level that they were on or are on is a dream for me, and so that's what I'm pushing to do.
I believe you can do it, man. You definitely have a very strong worth ethic. If you keep working at it, I think eventually it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it. Matter of fact, I've got two songs up in the drop on the radio. I've never dropped any music on the radio, and it's amazing that I've got the fan base that I have without putting anything on the radio. I don't have a major record deal. I'm still independent. But I'm very excited because the end of this year and the beginning of next year, I'm dropping my first two songs on the radio. I'm dropping a fast song and a slow song. Digital radio, satellite radio, and stereo radio. I'm dropping a song called To Another Zone, and then I'm dropping another song called I Need Your Body. And so um, on the I Need Your Body song, uh, I've been using a lot of talk box lately. You will see a lot of that in my upcoming music. Talkbox is the computer love Roger Troutman sound um, that you hear, and I've been doing a lot of that lately, incorporating that in the kind of R&B field that I want to have going on in the future. And so uh, the "I Need Your Body" song has the talk box in it, and then the "To Another Zone" song is a fast tempo song, and it's got a lot of stutter effect, which is the Nicki Minaj sound, where you have a lot of repeat, fast, speedy repeat on certain syllables and sounds. Uh, and so I kind of gave them a variation there: fast song with stutter effect, slow song with uh,
A talk
talk
box.
box. and they both have auto tunes.
Hmm.
So I think that will be uh, something that the people will like.
It's interesting because I always associate Talk Box a lot with that kind of classic rock, Peter Frampton, some Steely Dan kind of sound. So that'd be interesting to hear it in a more like rap context.
Yeah, if you remember the song California Love, remember that?
Yeah, that was Talk Box.
Yeah, that was Talkbox. That was Roger Troutman. An interesting note about Roger Troutman, he actually used to date my aunt. So I have the utmost respect and love for Roger Troutman. And in my music coming up in the future, I will be using a lot of Talkbox to pay homage to him and everything that he did for the music industry.
Were you ever able to meet Roger?
I was never able to meet him. It was weird because there was a show once that I wanted to go to make to see him. I didn't get a chance to see him because it was sold out. Um, and him and my aunt was dating for a very short time, but I was able to find out, that information that they were dating, and so um, I just have a lot of respect for the guy, man. He was taken from the music industry way too early, just like a lot of artists, Michael Jackson,
Hmm.
Prince, list goes on, but
Yeah.
you know, often makes me think, what would the world have been like if all of these people whose lives were taken before their time would have been like? Abe Lincoln, you know, list goes on.
Hendrix.
All these people that would have been taken. I mean, I think it would have been almost a perfect world, to be honest, if not a perfect world. But that's what heaven's for.
Yeah. Guess it's more of a random world than a perfect world, isn't it?
Exactly, it is.
All right. On that somber note, I think we've. Thank you so much again for the interview, Viper. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make to the listening audience?
Yeah. To the listening audience, the songs that I will be releasing, I told you guys that. If you hear them on digital radio, just try to request. Also, um, everybody has my phone number. It's always been available, 281-690-9705. If you have any ideas, anything, uh, or just, want to say hello, feel free to text me. Um, and I want to say thank you to everyone that has been supportive. Uh, and I think we are moving in a positive way right now. And I think that if everybody continues to keep this positive focus on ourselves and life in general, things will get better for all of us. Uh, and so let's think not about ourselves. Let's think about other people, especially right now. There's a huge issue with global hunger. We need to address that. Uh, Anybody who has the ability to help, please invest in that, in helping these children who need assistance around the world. Um, and I've given a vow that if I ever am fortunate enough to become a household name, and if I'm ever fortunate enough to be able to be, uh, a, to have the wealth to be able to assist, I do pledge 50% of all of my income to world hunger.
That's a great cause, man. Something that everyone I think should really get behind. There's always going to be people who are less fortunate than yourself. You need to really remember that and just try to Try to look for it up for
I don't,
everyone,
I don't,
even in your
yeah,
daily
I don't know
life.
the numbers, man, but there's a ridiculously high amount of children that die every day. It's something like 200,000, 300,000. I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount. And it's something that if the wealthy people of the world came together, it's something that can be solved instantaneously. So uh, let's not worry about, population control and pollution control. Let's worry about saving lives, and everything else, will come together. So just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Thank you so much for that great announcement, Viper. Really appreciate just that real philanthropic spirit and just positive message you always have. Also love how you just gave people your phone number as well. Just that's so great of you just to put yourself out there and keep yourself like open just to people's comments. It's very nice. All right.
Appreciate that.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks again for listening, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.